Good evening. This is Alive with Gabriel, and we welcome you to our little bit of sharing coming from the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center in Patagonia, Arizona. If you want more information about this, you can call us at 866-394-2520 or look us up on the website at www.treeoflife.nu. Okay, so we're going to start off. What we usually do is 45 minutes of nutritional questions, 45 minutes of spiritual questions. And the people who are online with Alive with Gabriel have the first option, and everyone in the room has the second option. So that's easy to hear. So let's start with the question, why is it that live foods help alter consciousness? What's going on? This isn't just why live foods are good for you, but how does it alter consciousness? So let's first understand at the highest level of live foods, you have this very active water. And the water being very active, and if we bless it and create a cycle of blessing in that, the water holds all the energy, it holds all the blessings. And so we're actually getting our blessings. Because when we bless the food, we're drawing down the divine energy into the food. We're also in the water, in the food, holding the blessing, and holding the energy. So that's one way it works. Another thing to understand is live food is the highest amount of biophoton energy. What's that? Well, biophoton energy is the living field in which we're all part of. Even though we appear to differentiate, we're really all part of the living field. And what does that mean? It means that although we're all part of it, we are often unconscious that we're part of it. Live food has the most amount of biophoton energy. People who have live foods, in some studies in Germany, it shows that a junk food eater has about 1,000 units of biophoton energy. A newborn baby is 43,000. A kind of an organic vegetarian is 23,000. A live food person is 83,000. And then one person did fasting and wild herbs, and they turned out to be up to 114,000. This is a very significant difference. So what? Next one is, so what? And so when we look at it, we come up with a new piece of information. And that new piece of information is that a high biophoton energy optimizes the function of the body. It's how the cell nucleus communicates with the cell wall. And the cell wall has a tremendous amount of communication abilities to communicate with other cells and also to communicate with the rest of the body, what should be drawn into that cell, what nutrients it needs, what things it has to get rid of. So the biophoton field at one level is giving us a tremendous amount of communication and synchronicity. And that's when sometimes you see a fish, you go into school, it's all biophoton field that's going on. So now you have the whole body in unity. And one of the principles that Gabriel's talked about a lot is that disease is chaos in the field. Watch that Dr. Pop, who's done 30 years of research in biophoton energy, has shown something really interesting, is that the healthiest people have the highest amount of biophoton energy. And those who are least healthy have the lowest amount. So that puts us in touch with chaos versus order again. When you have 114,000 units of the biophoton energy, you're going to have a whole lot more order than you are if you have 1,000, which is what a junk food eater eats. Then you're going to have better cell communication, better DNA function, better DNA communication with the cell wall, better communication between the cells, it's going to be healthier. And that's what he found. Now what we find is wild-crafted food, which is also very similar to authentic food that we grow here at the Tree of Life, where we're using a variety of things to aid it. In our vegan our vegan farming program is the highest amount, and that's going to have twice as much biophoton energy as organic. Organic is 5 times as much as commercial, and cooked food, irradiated food, has 0. So that's a very big difference. So what we're looking at is, well, how do people even exist on 0? Well, they don't do it that well. It may look, because we're given a certain amount of energy. We come in the world with a certain amount of life force energy, and so all it means is that gets depleted sooner. And yes, we have certain medical things that help people go, and other things that they kind of keep people alive, and lifespans appear to be longer. But part of the reason they appear to be longer is it used to be all the epidemics and acute infections used to actually shorten the overall lifespan. Now we're looking at a different picture, and people really aren't as healthy and are fading out sooner. That's why we have epidemics of cancer, diabetes. We don't have a life force to be able to heal our systems like we used to, because of, in essence, the junk food, pesticided, herbicided food. The life foods make a difference because of the highest in biophoton energy. Now, the more biophoton energy you have, the more conscious you become of your connection to the living field. And that's really important to understand. We're all connected to the living field, but are we conscious of that connection? See, the living field is where all the information is. It's where the cosmic records are. It's where literally our memory is stored, as the quantum physicists are now beginning to realize. And when you are more connected consciously to the field, you're able to pull out more information out of the field, and you're able to have a more sense of oneness. Think about that for a moment, sense of oneness. So as people eat more live foods, they are being filled more with the understanding and the wisdom of that heightened energy, and they feel more of a connection to the living field, and therefore are more drawn to consciousness. And it's not unusual that, in fact, one of our students for our master's program, we have a live food master's program, a 2-year program, sometimes it's 3 years, that basically she did a survey of 525 people, and essentially 87% of the people filled out after 2 years in live food, they had a stronger connection with the divine. They were more alert mentally, very significant decrease in depression, and there was just more spiritual, psychological, mental, and emotional health. And that's directly related to the increased amount of biophoton energy. So that's how it works. There's another level too. It's called the Ormus energy, which is the monatomic. And myself and David Wolf is doing a great deal of really great research on this. I've come to the conclusion that the best way to get the Ormus food isn't buying some kind of product on the market, but growing your food with high Ormus nutrients. So at the Tree of Life, we're starting to use the Dead Sea salt, which are the highest Ormus nutrients in the planet. Okay?